Good morning, children. Today is the second class of number system for class 9th. In the previous class, we had discussed about how the number system was framed. And in that, we learned about natural numbers, whole numbers, fractional numbers, rational numbers, and real numbers. As you all know that the real numbers are framed with the help of rational numbers and irrational numbers. In the previous class, we discussed how real numbers can be represented on number line and the spiral, the square root spiral. Today we are going to learn about real numbers and their decimal expansions. Children, I hope so that as discussed in the previous class, you must have completed exercise 1.1 and 1.2. Now in the continuation, we are coming to today's topic, real numbers and their decimal expansions. So let us consider an example as given in your NCERT textbook to find the decimal expansion of 10 upon 3, 7 upon 8 and 1 upon 7. The first is 10 upon 3. Here we are going to divide 10 by 3. You have learned in class 7th itself how to convert a fractional number into a decimal number. So what happens? We are dividing 10 by 3. In the quotient we have got 3 and remainder comes to be 1. Now we want to find the decimal numbers. So further we have 3 point. We are going to write point, decimal point after 3, and we keep on using 0 with the reminders, and again we are getting the remainder 1. So such type of expansions, this number 3 after the decimal point is repeated again and again. So this is a decimal expansion. In the previous lecture also I had discussed, this is called a non-terminating recurring decimal. 10 upon 3 is equal to 3.333 and so on. This can also be written as 3.3 bar because 3 is repeated again and again after the decimal point. So this is a non-terminating recurring decimal. Further we will discuss how this non-terminating recurring decimal can be represented as a rational number also in the form of P upon Q. Now the second expansion is 7 upon 8. When you divide 7 by 8, we get the result as 0.875. After 3 stages of division, we get the remainder 0. Now this was decided by the denominator 8 because 8 can be written as the power of 2. In class 10th you will be studying how on seeing the calculating the prime factors of the denominator, we can decide whether a number is a terminating decimal or a non-terminating decimal. Now further, 1 upon 7 is again a non-terminating recurring decimal. In the previous lecture we had discussed that how 1 upon 7 is divided, 1 is divided by 7, and this set of numbers after the decimal point, that is 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. This whole set is repeated again and again. So again 1 upon 7 is a non-terminating recurring decimal which can be written in the form of a rational number. Another example we are going to consider, that's what I discussed, that how we can write a non-terminating recurring decimal into a rational number. So the method used here is, let us suppose that this number 0.333 is written as 0.3 bar. Let us suppose that this number is x. So x is equal to 0.333 and so on. So what we are going to do is, let us use a trick. We are multiplying both the sides. Now this is an equation. So we are multiplying both the sides by 10. So if you multiply the LHS, that is x by 10, and the RHS is again multiplied by 10. So this decimal point is shifted towards right in one place because we are multiplying by 10. So 0.333 multiplied by 10 becomes 3.333. So we can write 10x is equal to 3 plus x. Hence 9x is equal to, see, this is a simple solving and linear equation, and you have learned this in class 6 itself, so no need to go in detail. So you can understand that how this plus x that is in the right hand side is shifted towards the left hand side, that is 10x minus x comes to be 9x. So 9x is equal to 3 and the value of x comes to be 1 upon 3. So hence the number 0.3 bar, that is 0.333 and so on. This is a non-terminating recurring decimal and we have converted it into 1 upon 3, and this is a rational number because it is written in the form of P upon Q. Let's consider another example. In this example, these examples are from your textbook itself. You can mark it in your textbook. And children, I have a request that whenever you are sitting and attending my online class, you have your notebook, pen as well as your textbook, so that you can turn the pages and you can mark them for further reference when you are doing the exercises. So in this example 9, we have to find out the rational number conversion of the expansion 0.2353535 and so on. So here 35 is repeated again and again. Here the method is little different, little bit same as what we have considered in the previous example. In this we have to shift the decimal point to 2 places in the right direction. In the previous example we had multiplied by 10. We shifted 1 place when we were multiplying. Here we want to shift it 2 places. So we are multiplying by 100. So multiplying by 100 on both the side, we get 100x is equal to 23.5353 and so on. So 100x is equal to 23.3 plus x. Now simplifying the linear equation, we have 99x is equal to 23.3. On simplifying, we get the result as x is equal to 233 upon 990, because 23.3 on converting this into a fraction, it comes to be, see, we have got 1 place after the decimal, so we are dividing by 10, and 99 by cross multiplication by 10 comes to be 990, and hence we have represented it as 233 upon 990. Now further, representing the real numbers on the number line. In the previous lesson discussed on Monday, we had the representation, the previous class we had on Wednesday. We had learnt how to represent root 2, root 3, root 5 on a number line, making use of the Pythagoras theorem. In this topic further, we are going to represent some decimal numbers on the number line. For example, we want to locate 2.665 on the number line. Now this is the magnification method. Everyone knows the use of a magnifying glass. Magnifying glass is used to find the numbers in between, that is in the enlarged view. As you know, 2.665, see, just if you go in the flashback in your class 6th, we had the decimals chapter, and that we used to write that particular decimal number lies in between which two numbers. For example, 2.665, we want to find out it lies between which two ones. So here in the ones place we have the number 2, and 2.665 is greater than 2 but less than 3. So this number 2.665 lies in between 2 and 3. Now on magnifying these two locations on a number line, the enlarged view comes to be the numbers between 2 and 3. The decimal numbers between 2 and 3 are 2.1 till 2.9. Now look at the decimal that we have to represent on the number line, that is 2.665. Now this number lies between, because it is 665. Now you are finding out the 10th place, that is 1 upon 10th place. So it is lying between 2.6 and 2.7. First we had calculated the number between 2 and 3. So it is 2.6 and 2.7. Now we are looking at the magnifying view of 2.6 and 2.7. The enlarged view, now we are considering 2 place after the decimal. It comes to be 2.61 till 2.69. The number in between is 2.65. So here 2.66 will be in between 2.6 and 2.67. So we are looking at the magnifying view to find the number in between 2.66 and 2.67. Now the 3 place after the decimal we are calculating. So when we are writing, again finding 10 numbers between 2.66 and 2.67, in center we have got 2.665, and thus we have located the number 2.665 using the magnification method. Now let us consider another example in order to visualize the representation of 5.37777, that is up to 5 place of the decimal. Using the same method, when you are looking at the decimal number, that is 5.3 so on. So the ones place here is 5, and this number is greater than 5, but it is less than 6. So this lies between, see, we are using, in the previous slides we had considered Gradually, I told you how we are developing and locating the decimal number. Now I am considering all of them in the same magnifying view. So look at the location. First step, the number 5.3777 lies in between the two ones, that is number 5 and number 6. Now in the magnifying view, we have 5.3 and 5.4. We are magnifying this particular numbers and we are writing again 10 numbers in between 5.3 and 5.4. Now 10 numbers between 5.3 and 5.4 are 5.31, 5.32, 5.33, 5.34, 5.35, 5.36, and here comes 5.37. So we have the number is 5.377. So it is less than 5.38. So the two numbers which have to be magnified are 5.37 and 5.38. Now putting the magnifying glass on these particular numbers, the enlarged view, again we are writing 10 decimals between 5.37 and 5.38. So this comes to be 5.31, 5.371, 5.372, 5.373, and here comes 5.377 and 5.3778. Now this comes the point that lies in between 5.37777. Now we are considering 3 places after the decimal and the enlarged view again 10 numbers. So 10 numbers in between 5.377 and 5.378. The number lies here that we have to locate. It is after 5.3775, it is 5.377. So 376 and 377. So we have enlarged and represented the given decimal number on the number line, representing the magnification method. So let's have a look on the NCERT exercise. Coming to the first question of exercise 1.3, write the following in decimal form and say what kind of decimal expansion each has. The first number is 36 upon 100. Now 36 upon 100 can be written as 0.36. The method used in the class 7th. We have 100 in the denominator. There are 2 zeros. Now 2 zeros are there. So that means the decimal point, because we have 100 in the denominator, so the decimal point is going to move towards the left direction. See, 36 is there. We are moving towards the left. At present in 36, the decimal point is after 6, that is 36.0. So we are moving towards the left and the number comes to be 0.36. And after 6, we don't have any reminders even when you divide. So after 2 steps of division, we get the remainder 0. Hence, the decimal expansion ends after a finite number of steps. Now coming to the second question, we have the number 1 upon 11. When I started the topic today, I told you how to divide and calculate the decimal expansion of a given rational number. So applying the same method, when you divide 1 by 11, here 11 is the 1 is the dividend and 11 is the divisor. We have the expansion as 0.0 909090 and so on. This 09 is repeated again and again. So we are using the symbol 0.09 bar. Now this decimal expansion contains a repeating block of digits in the quotient. So it is a non-terminating repeating. So as per explanation of 1 and 2, we conclude in the following parts that 4 1 upon 8. Now 4 1 upon 8 can be represented as 33 upon 8. Just recall how you were calculating a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So 4 1 upon 8, 4 8s are 32. 32 plus 1, 33. 33 upon 8, the denominator is 8. 8 can be written as 2 to the power of 2 into 2 into 2, that is 2 raised to the power 3, and hence on conversion also we have got 4.125, that is a terminating decimal, because even if you check by dividing, the remainder comes to be 0 after 3 steps of division, and hence it is a terminating decimal. In the fourth part, we have 3 upon 13. On dividing 3 by 13, the result comes to be 0.230769230769. Now here the term 230769 is repeated again and again. So hence we conclude that it is a non-terminating repeating decimal. Further, 2 upon 11. On dividing 2 by 11, we have the decimal number after conversion, that is after division, is 0.181818, so on. Now this 18 is repeated again and again, and hence it is written as 0.18 bar, and hence it is a non-terminating repeating decimal. Coming to the last, 329 divided by 400, it is 0.8225, and after 4 steps of division, the resultant, the remainder is 0, and it is a terminating decimal. In question number 2, we have, you know that 1 upon 7 is written as we considered in our previous lecture, the calculation of the decimal number, the decimal expansion of 1 upon 7, which was 0.142857 bar. Now can you predict? See, in question number 1, we were dividing and then calculating. But here, we are not going to divide. We are going to use the tricks that how can we predict what will be the decimal expansion of 2 upon 7, 3 upon 7, 4 upon 7 and 5 upon 7 and 6 upon 7 without actually doing the long division. If so, how? Now there can be two methods. I'll just brief both the methods. The first method is 2 upon 7. Now 2 upon 7 can be written as 2 into 1 upon 7. This comes to be 1 upon 7 is already given in the question, that it is 0.142857 bar. So what you will do is, you will multiply this 2 by all the terms. So the resultant comes to be 285714. Now similarly, For 3 upon 7, we will multiply the value of 1 upon 7 in the decimal form by 3, and we get the resultant as 0.428571 bar. Now for 4 upon 7, you will multiply the value of 1 upon 7 by 4, and it comes to be 0.571428 bar. For 5 upon 7, you multiplied the value of 1 upon 7 by 5, and the resultant is 0.714285 bar. For 6 upon 7, you will multiply the value of 1 upon 7 by 6, and the answer is 0.857142. So, I think so you must have clearly understood that how we are calculating without dividing. Here we are doing by multiplication, calculating the value of 2 upon 7, 3 upon 7, 4 upon 7, 5 upon 7 and 6 upon 7. Question number 3 of exercise 1.3 is express the following in the form of P upon Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. The first question is, let us suppose for 0.6 bar, as you know that 0.6 bar means 6 is repeated again and again. So let us assume that x is equal to 0.6 bar, that is 0.666 and so on. Now one digit 6 is repeating. Now one single digit is repeating. So we will multiply both the sides of the given equation by 10. So when you multiply x by 10, it comes to be 10x, and when 0.666 is multiplied by 10, see previously we had discussed that when we will multiply by 10, the decimal point will move one place in the right direction. So we have 10x is equal to 6.6 bar. Now let us mark x is equal to 0.6 bar as our first equation and 10x is equal to 6.6 bar as our second equation. On subtracting the first equation from second, the result is 10x minus x, that is 6.6 bar minus 0.6 bar, and 6 bar minus 6 bar comes to be 0, and 6 minus 0 is 6. So the result is 9x is equal to 6 and x is equal to 6 upon 9. On converting into the lowest term, this comes to be 2 upon 3. Now coming to the second question. Now one thing I am telling students, whatever we are discussing and you are understanding here in the online class, keep noting down in your notebook. And as you do when you are in the class, gradually your classwork notes are prepared. So utilize your rest time in understanding what you have written. So it's my request that all the students note down whatever is taught in this class. Now coming to the second question, that is let x is equal to 0.47 bar. See here 47 in both of these two, only 7 has got bar above it. That means 7 is repeated again and again. So first we want to move the decimal point one place in the right direction. So first step, we are multiplying this by 10. So when 10 is multiplied, it comes to be 10x is equal to 4.777, that is 4.7 bar. Now again multiplying, let this be equation 2. X is equal to 0.47 bar is first equation. Then 10x multiplied, it comes to be 4.7 bar, this is the second equation. Now the third equation we are framing. Again multiply by 10, that is it comes to be 100. 10x is multiplied by 10, so it comes to be 100x. And here 4.7 7 bar is multiplied by 10, so it is moved again one place, so it comes to be 47.7 bar. Now we are subtracting the second equation from the third. So 100x minus 10x is equal to 47.7 bar minus 4.7 bar. So when you write one below the other, so 47 minus 4 comes to be 43, and 7 bar minus 7 bar is 0, so 43.0 comes to be 43. And on the left hand side we have 90x, and right hand side we have a 43, and the value of x comes to be 43 upon 90 by simplification. I think so this step is clear, understood. So coming to the third part, let x is equal to 0.001 bar. Here 001 is repeated again and again. So let us suppose this is our first equation, that is x is equal to 0.001. So we have to multiply by 1000 because we have to move 3 places. So we are multiplying by 1000. This comes to be 1000x is equal to 1 plus x, and hence 100x minus x is 1. So 999x is equal to 1, and it is converted into the fractional forms, that is the rational number as x is equal to 1 upon 999. So let us consider one magnifying glass question also given in exercise 1.4. Visualize 4.26 bar. Here 4.26 bar means 2626, it is repeated again and again. So we have got 4 places after the decimal point. So in the first step, as the number represents 4.26 bar, so the number lies in between 4 and 5. So on magnifying, the first magnification is we are writing 10 parts in between 4 and 5. So writing from 4.1, 4.2 till 4.9, we have the number to be represented as 4.26. So it is greater than 4.2 and less than 4.3. So it lies between 4.2 and 4.3. Now the second magnification, second successive magnification results in figure 2. We are magnifying the numbers between 4.26 and 4.27. So 3 places after the decimal we have enlarged, and the third successive magnification results as 4.261 till 4.269, and the number is 4.262. On magnifying these 2 places, we have got the fourth successive magnification, and at last we have represented on number line, that is 4.2626. It is in between 4.261 and 4.263. So hope you have understood the topic. So thank you very much, and with this, hoping that you are going to practice all the examples given in your textbook and even in extra books if you want to refer to. Practice, stay at home and be safe. So once again, thank you to one and all.